morning.
Nah, you fall asleep.
That's so quiet.
How about you said you were starting the thing?
I am.
I was waiting for the intro. I don't want to ruin it, but now I feel like I just got to keep talking, so I do.
I can't even think of what to say. EA is emailing me. Play Battlefield V today.
I just don't know. I feel like even if I buy it, all I'm going to end up doing is playing Overwatch anyway.
All right.
I think I have my forever game.
Overwatch?
Yeah, man.
Hello, you turkeys, and welcome to episode 17 of the SideQuest Gaming Podcast, a weekly podcast where four longtime friends get together, sit around a campfire, talk about Red Dead Redemption. That's all I want to talk about tonight. Talk about video games, movies, TV, and anything else that interests them as they squander on down the path to greatness on their quest of life, or some bullshit like that. With me, as always, are TJ to my right, or my left.
What's up?
Above him is Zach.
Hello.
And Pascal's that blurry non-camera thing above me.
Hi.
These are the hosts. My name is Wes, and we're going to talk about stuff. We haven't been here for a week or two, guys. So how's everybody doing?
I'm doing.
Hang in there.
Recovering from an illness.
There was illness.
Yeah, I was not feeling well for a solid week and then some.
Not good. What was wrong? And of course, my dog's... Oh, he's doing something.
Chooses
it's time
now
to get
at all
up.
times. I had some sort of cold thing going on, but it was pretty rough. I had no voice for a couple days. I was pretty convinced it might have been laryngitis because there was just nothing coming out. But doing better now. So
Glad you have your voice back.
Oh, bueno.
right? There was no way I was gonna be able to podcast last week.
It gave us all a break.
Yeah.
Same here. The sickness, the plague, whatever you want to call it. It was full force. Me and the daughter both had it. So
I don't
I
have
know
the
all about
sickness yet this year, so fingers crossed. I'm sure I'll get it after saying that.
Yeah, you will.
better knock on that wood.
I just did. I think I slept it all off last night anyway. So
I just don't understand how that was comfortable.
It wasn't.
I would feel so awful.
It wasn't. So anyway, I just totally zoomed through that intro, not really even thinking about what I was saying. So it was kind of neat and kind of weird at the same time. But here we are, all the same.
Pepperoni and meat on your mind.
That's right. Gotta stuff it in my face. Okay, dog, go away. So anyway, what has been going on in the world of gaming for you guys? Who wants to go first? Pascal, go first. He's played a lot.
A lot of the same game. I did. I played Battlefield 5 a lot, starting from early access. I even bought a second early access account just to play it more. And then I bought it, the deluxe version, which was enabling me to play since Thursday night / Friday, since last Friday. And I can't put that game down. I can't. It's addicting. And I haven't felt like this since Battlefield 3 and 4, actually. It's for me, just to put it real quick, it's between 3 and 4 right now, from how the gameplay is. And I love it. The hardcore customization is gone, so we can talk about it a little bit later, but I love it. Obviously I'm a Battlefield fanboy, but that doesn't mean I like everything they put out, because I'm also very critical. But it is just the shooter that I like to play. Same as Zach plays Overwatch. For me, it's always been like Battlefield. I always play Battlefield. That's the only shooter that I can play, and the only thing I'm decent at, not good, but decent at. And yeah, I mean, I suck at Call of Duty, for example. Like, for the life of me, I can't play this game. I rage quit, and I hear some 10-year-old screaming, and I'm like, nope, that's it. Throw the disc out. Garbage.
I got your
whatever.
mother.
Exactly. I played Fallout 76. Played it actually with Wes for a little bit again, didn't we? Yeah, we did. When I know this game has so much potential. So much. It's right now. It's fun for being Fallout. It's shit for being a game. It's just so many bugs. It's just the performance, and I play on the Xbox One X. The performance for the graphics and for everything other games do, it's just garbage. It's just so bad. However, they had a only 42 gigabyte patch that fixed a lot of the performance issues, but yeah, it was 42 gigabytes and didn't fix a lot of things or add a lot of
just
things.
Patched in Fallout 4 and said, here you go.
That would have run smoother.
Did they hire Bluehole?
Yeah, pretty much. Fix Fallout76.com soon. No, it is great in a way, but I honestly enjoy it more with people, I guess, when I play with people and do like the events or the quest. But I can also see the whole lore. Like, it's difficult. Like, when Wes and I grouped up, like, I always had to stop and he had to read this and that. And I'm like, come on, dude. And I went off in the distance and just killed something because I like the lore, but me personally, I don't want to read everything they have. I'm just, like every little note. I don't read that. I'm not into that, but he is. So.
I do, and I don't want to go back to a place twice. Like, I don't want to go back and do that if we've already gone and done it. And that's what I was going to say. Like, I guess we could just kind of talk about Fallout now, since you and I are the only ones that played it, right?
Yeah, I've watched a little bit of some people play it, but I haven't.
You haven't played it, Nugget, right?
No.
I enjoyed thoroughly my time playing it. We played for about 4 hours that night?
Yeah, 4 hours until Battlefield 5 launched.
And I had a really, really good time with it. It feels like Fallout. It looks like Fallout. It sounds like Fallout. It plays like Fallout. It's Fallout. I differ from you, though, in that I think that I would have a better time playing that by myself. And it's nothing against the people I was playing with, obviously. I just like to be able to take my time, read my lore.
Is it
listen
obvious?
To the...
Sorry. Carry on.
What?
Nothing.
You're mean. I just like to be able to take my time and read the lore, listen to the holotapes, figure out, look at what's going on, take in the scenery, whatever, and not feel like I need to rush from waypoint to waypoint or quest to quest to get as much stuff done because people are waiting on me or that. So I think that the game for me would be best served single player until I finish like main quests or whatever and kind of get to in-game content.
But speaking of, what is the end game content?
I don't know.
Fallout?
I don't know.
It's already ruined is what it is.
It's what?
It's already ruined is what it is. Apparently the in-game content is launching nukes and being able to hunt and kill monsters.
Decipher them. Yep.
Yeah, and decipher the nuclear codes and all that stuff, and then being able to launch them from one of 3 nuclear missile silos. And wherever you launch your nukes, apparently the area becomes irradiated. Low-level players can't stay there. High-level monsters that are mutated now populate the area, and they have better loot than monsters in regular places. So that's kind of like a raid type thing, but
it seems a little anti-fun to keep an entire zone from a group of players because they aren't a high enough level. Like, I could see it being instanced, and
I think it's a pretty small area compared to what people are thinking.
You don't. I witnessed a nuclear thing. So all you had to do to get in that zone is a hazmat suit, a power armor, or like a gas mask to go into that thing. But obviously, I went with like a power armor frame, and so I was lower level than everybody in there, but I could still be able killing stuff while I was, grouping up with them. But the issue now with this whole endgame thing is like it's fun. It sounds probably worse for you than it actually is, Zach. But I think what Wes wanted to go ahead with is you had to decipher those codes, right? Like you get like a launch code from a rare enemy, and you have to decipher them, through in-game riddles and stuff, and blah blah blah. Well, good on Bethesda because they forgot that this is a multiplayer game. People already created a hack on the computer where you can just put the code in and it's deciphered and you can launch. They actually launched 3 missiles at the same time the other day on PC. The server crashed.
Damn, you just took my news story. I'm sitting here reading this. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, damn. So, again, like, I feel like since we kind of on fall right now, I feel like since, I'm rank 14, level 14, I like the perk system. I think it's awesome. It's like you get like different cards and you can level them up and stuff. It's pretty neat.
I did think the perk system was cool. I watched a little bit of that with somebody doing it, and I thought that was interesting.
And I agree and disagree with Wes' thing of solo player. I think there's a lot of content that I discover now that is so much fun where I'm like, oh man, I wish Wes could see this right now. It would be so much easier with him, having him there helping me with this. It's pretty neat. But I feel like this whole game, it feels super early access. Super early access. Like this, it shouldn't have been $60. It shouldn't. It's like I encounter server crashes. Like I've played for like 30 minutes and I don't know when the last save was, but I lost everything from the 30 minutes because the server crashed, disconnected. And I don't know. There's like a lot of bugs and a lot of issues going on right now where I'm just like,
are we really surprised by that though, with it being a Bethesda game? Like that's pretty par for. I'm not saying it's an excuse for it, but I mean, just being surprised by it might be a little wishful thinking.
I'm not surprised. I didn't think the game was going to be that good to begin with.
I think the issue is like we all could live with those issues if it would be a single player game and you had the option to play single player. You don't have that. You play offline here. You're always connected. So with all them bugs and like. It was so bad. Wes and I, we stopped, I think, for a minute using guns because it just felt so wonky. It wasn't smooth.
Frame rate was dipping down into the teens.
I had an X. I mean, I have an X, and my frame rate went to like 10.
I literally, 9.
It was ridiculous.
I couldn't line up headshots to shoot because it was just too choppy.
Yeah. Now, again, the patch kind of fixed a lot of those things for me, at least. But I still think it's unacceptable to launch it that way. I feel like they could have just delayed it, but they probably just wanted to cash in and see how many people buy it because, let's be honest, like a lot of people who love Fallout, they're going to buy it anyway. Then they're going to complain that it's shit, but hey, they already have your money. So, that's just how Bethesda rolls. And everybody gives Bethesda so much credit and stuff. But honestly, for me, Bethesda always lays the main game that is fun, but especially on PC. But then the community creates something much more better. Like all the community patches, the mods and stuff. I think that really makes Bethesda games special and awesome with Elder Scrolls, Fallout too. And so I feel like that people just have to be a little bit more critical about Bethesda. And, those bugs are, I'm not surprised either. But I think at this time, we should stop accepting this. We should stop being okay, this Bethesda game, there are bugs in it. That's stupid. It's almost it's fine. We pay, $150 for microtransactions to give me a thing because, hey, they're always there. No, you shouldn't stand for that. You should just be no, fuck you. Fix your game and then I'll buy it if it's smooth. But people keep on buying.
Juvenile Sasquatch. that sounds like a Sasquatch I knew 10 years ago.
Hey,
buying these fucking $60 games as soon as they come out.
I'm kind of with Pascal on this. I mean, it's a good game. I had a lot of fun with it. but I also haven't played it since that night. Actually, I take that back. I did play it by myself for about 2 hours one morning, and I had a really good time. Didn't have any problems. But it has so many issues. This whole thing about people launching 3 nukes at once. We're 2 weeks into the game, if that, a week into the game,
If that.
a week into the game, I think, and you're already launching nuclear codes, or launching nuclear weapons, which is supposed to be the big thing. And now you've got one group of people that actually took control of, deciphered all the codes, and launched all 3 of the nuclear sites on one server at the same time within a week of the game, just to see if they could do it that quick. And I know that people like to be the first to do stuff and complete things and everything, but like the article here says, there are 3 sites in the game you can launch nukes from, so we originally wanted to see if it was possible to launch the nukes from each of the sites. We found out it was possible. We decided to launch them in the same area at once. And so the game crashed. The server stopped responding after they did it. But it's just like, there's supposed to be like a 3-step process. You have to get 10 codes. It's like 10 numerals of a code. And you can only get those off of one high-level monster that spawns in the game. Not one particular monster, but one type. And then you get those codes. You have to go to this place that apparently will also offer up a code, or a digit of the code every week or every 24 hours or something like that. So eventually it will decipher itself, I guess. But then you have to take control of a place, and you have to go do something else. There's 3 different quests you have to do to actually launch it once you get the codes. But
I felt like he was explaining the Lost series
pretty much
when they found the bunker down in the bottom.
24.
They had to just hit the code.
Yeah. The longest, most time-consuming part of the codes, though, is actually getting the code cards, and they've fixed that, or they've fucked that up so bad that you only have to get 1 card now, and then you go to a website and they basically have a random generator that they've figured out the cipher, and you put whatever code you have in, and it'll tell you what the rest of the code is, and now you have bypassed a third, really more of the main, the big meaty quest to launch nuclear codes. And it's sad to me, because people are up there doing that, and they haven't had time to do everything else that's in the game. They just went straight to that. There we go, and that's the new standard, and that's what everybody's going to do, and we're just going to run around in a more nuclear irradiated world so people can get their giggles off and launch codes every 15 minutes. It's just not. It's not the atmosphere that I want, and they need to put private servers in now.
Oh yeah, player versus enemy, private servers, kind of like GTA Online, play with friends, join your friends only. Yeah, I think that will be a lot helpful.
Give me a private server with any of you guys, and I'm good. The game styles don't mesh well together. Fallout and multiplayer would be cool, except that you feel rushed. But you don't want to feel rushed because they put all this content in there, and there is a lot of content, more than I expected there to be. There's holotapes to listen to explaining the story everywhere, to the point though that I feel like I'm standing around for a half an hour listening to these tapes while Pascal's just running around like, Jesus Christ, can we go kill some stuff?
I'm a level 14. Come on, you level 1.
Ice of a vampire, you're right.
But it's like a clash of styles, and I just don't. I get that they wanted to do a multiplayer game, and people want a Fallout multiplayer game. It doesn't. The way it's presented is just. I'll still play it, and I'll like it, but I would be just as happy playing Fallout 4, to be honest.
They should have just done if they go multiplayer like that, just full-blown MMO like Elder Scrolls Online is. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
With actual NPCs. But yeah. That was my week. Did I play anything else?
Yeah.
What else did I play?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think that's all I played. Battlefield and Fallout. And Did I play anything else?
Did you ever have your say about all your time in Red Dead Redemption? I know you beat it.
Oh yeah, I beat it. I don't know. I just played a little bit more, but not as much. Still waiting for the online part.
What did you think of it when it was all said and done? Because I don't think we had that conversation on the podcast.
I think it was great. Like, I mean, it after I beat the main story, there starts this epilogue, and the epilogue is still like 10-15 hours long. I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. And after that, and you finish the whole main story, it says from your 100% main story, you still can do things. You can still do side quests, and the way they do it is kind of funny. Like, once you get to the point, they actually redone the cutscenes a little bit to, I guess, make it work. But like I said, I'm gonna keep it spoiler free. So most of you probably know what will happen, what's going on, because you played the first Red Dead. But it's pretty neat how they did everything. So what I could just suggest is, if you have a side mission that still have to do, just leave one side mission aside, just to see that what I'm talking about, because I think it's pretty cool and interesting. But other than that, I still have to hunt legendary animals and stuff. But I do, and this is with every Rockstar game, I do feel like once you completed the main story, and it's kind of like, okay, you can do all those things still, but the world is not responding the same anymore. Like, it stops, basically, right? Like, it doesn't evolve anymore, it stops. So what I wanted from a game is, like, when you complete the main story, it still goes, like, you can, the houses that they build, they get, like, completed and stuff like that, like the time continues. But that's just me, I guess. But no, I love it. 10 out of 10. 10 nuggets.
There you go. All right. Who next?
Can I pick? TJ.
Me. Oh, well, I played a little bit of PUBG. Nothing new there. It feels a lot better.
It just seems to be real hit or miss with that, man. Like, it's just every other week it's feeling different.
They fixed it. It's
feels
shit.
Good,
they fixed
and then
it. It's shit.
They fixed it. Yeah. So far it's felt good, but I have taken the full leap into Red Dead, and now I cannot stop.
Are you playing?
He is playing it right
I have a controller in my hand.
You bastard.
Oh, no, I'm not playing it, but I did have the controller in my hand. So when we're done, I'm ready to go. Man, it's got me fully immersed. I'm enjoying what little bit of the story that I'm playing. There's some wonky things that happen that really take away from me. I won't give it a 10 out of 10 like Pascal. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because of the randomness of things. So, like, this doesn't spoil anything. It could happen different ways in your world. But you know how Rockstar is in their randomness. I'm going along. I hear a guy go, help me. And I go over and I go to help him. And I was like, what can I do? He's like, oh, just hold my horse still. And then his horse just takes off running. So my job is, at that point, I know if I want to be a good guy, I can go get his horse for him and bring it back to him. So I go get his horse. I chase it down for like a mile. I bring it back to him. I get off my horse. And he's like, oh, you brought me my horse. Thank you. And as I get off my horse to give him his horse, he goes, I can't believe it. And he just starts shooting me. Like, it just breaks halfway through. Like, I was a good guy, and all of a sudden now I'm a bad guy.
I've had things like that happen too, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, what did you just ruin, though? Like, that's what bothers me. Like, was he going to give me, because I sucked the guy's thigh because he got bit by a snake. And then, like, a week later, after playing, I ran into him in a town away from where he was, and he's like, hey, man, go to the gun store and buy a gun on me. So because I sucked the snake venom out of his leg, he gave me a free gun.
I was at the Trapper day before yesterday, just turning in. I was shopping. I was browsing his catalog, and you can hear him talk every once in a while, like, yeah, you sure get some good animals around here. Blah, blah, just random jibber jabber. All of a sudden, I'm still in the catalog. I haven't done a thing. I haven't moved. My character is literally looking at a book. And he goes, what you going to do that for? And I'm like, what's he talking about? You need to leave now. And I'm like, talking to me? I'm telling you, get on out of here. And I'm like, so I close the catalog and he's like, are you really serious? And he just takes off running. And he's no longer available to shop. And I'm just like, what the hell? Next thing you know, it says crime reported. I'm like, what did I do? I'm just standing here. So yeah, there are weird things like that happen.
Yeah,
and I have found that a lot of those for me though, a lot of those were control issues. Now this thing that I just told you about, obviously, no way was it. But a lot of times I would do things on accident that I didn't mean to do to fuck that shit up. But there are some random ass shit like you were talking about, and like I just said, that just like you have nothing to do with, and you're like, why did that just happen?
Is your reputation bad?
No, it's about halfway into the good. It's just but no, he was happy. Like whatever he was getting ready to do, he was getting ready to do, and then somehow I came off my horse and I just tripped something. I guess, like even though he was like 10 feet away from me, I don't know if maybe, like I don't know, like. But what if he was going to give me something cool?
I remember one last night. I was on a building.
Do you? Was he sure it wasn't a dream?
I jumped off the building, and I guess I made too much noise jumping off the building. I got a charge for disturbing the peace.
Nice.
Nice.
As soon as I landed.
Nice. Swain.
What's up, Swain?
What's up, Swain?
So yeah, so I've been immersed into that. I've been hunting. I've been fishing. I've been trying to build things. I'm trying to get all my satchels built and trying to update the camp. I think I'm sort of like what Pascal's talking about. I don't want to complete the whole main game too fast and be left like, why am I going to upgrade these satchels now when I don't have anything else to do but run around and do little things. So I want to try to build my character up as much as I can with like talismans and satchels and gear that helps you hold more ammo and knives and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a beautiful game. It plays well. Those little nuances. I thought the horses were broken. So just some tips for you guys when you're riding around on the horses. So anytime I went through the woods, I hit a rock. And I'd be like, man, I was trying to go right and the horse went left and I hit a rock and I break my horse's neck or I break my face against the rock. I hit another tree, So I found out from a video I watched that the horses, when you're running super, super fast on them, if you're going through the woods, if you just let go of left analog, they will dodge the trees on them on their own.
Just so like the Witcher.
Yeah, so what I was doing was fighting against which way the horse was trying to go, which caused me to wreck into stuff. So that was a nice little tip. So I'm throwing that out there for all you guys that are playing it right now. If you're having the same problem me, the horses are not broken. The controls are sort of broken, but they don't tell you that, like.
Took me a long time to figure that out with The Witcher too, because I'm just running through the whole woods and then every once in a while I'd just stop and I'd slam into something or something and you just let it do its thing.
Yep. And so something else, what else was it? There was something else I thought was weird with the horses, and that sort of fixed the problem reading. Oh, the horse, if you call it, apparently there is a calling system. So like one whistle, your horse is like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like he's from Boston trying to get through the traffic, If you whistle twice, he picks up a little urgency. You whistle 3 times, but they don't tell you that in the game. Unless, am I wrong, Pascal or Wes? You guys are further than me. Did it tell you?
There's very little of tutorial. It's all more like figuring it out.
Yeah, so if you guys want your horse to come pronto, you whistle 4 times in a row, and he comes flying. Also, if you jump off a balcony that's not too tall, if you hit Y in midair, you'll actually jump on your horse's saddle and you can ride off.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I robbed a store and I made a quick getaway by jumping off their balcony and landing on my horse, and I got a $7 bounty.
What happened to that most of the way into the good bar?
Well, hold on. So I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So I'm not going to tell you where this happened, but I found a person who ran a store, like an actual store you go in and purchase stuff. And I went into their back room on accident because you explore. So I was like, "Ooh, where's this door going?" He yells at me, "Hey, get out of there!" And I look up and I'm like, "There's a metal door with a little sliding window." So I walk up to it and it says knock, and I knock on it. A dude opens. He goes, "Get out of here!" And he slams it back, and it goes, "You've now found a less than reputable owner." So he's running bad stuff out of the back. So that's what happened. I went in and robbed those dudes.
Okay,
And come to find out
that shit.
yeah, I Robin Hood. So I took out the bad dudes, and lo and behold, when I took them out, I realized they're part of the gang that hates us. So all in all, it was a good day. If you want your good to go up, if you see any KKK members, you kill them, gives you a positive rating. So I've killed 2 groups of them. I was going through the woods
one night.
KKK
members?
I found KKK. I was riding around at night, and next thing you know, I see a bunch of torches in the woods. Like, I'm going over there. And there's KKK dudes, and they're initiating a man, and they set a torch on fire, or a cross on fire. So I just take out my bow, and I snipe them off one by one, go and loot them, and it gives me a +1. Like, the game is happy that I killed them.
Oh, my God.
That sounds like a political statement to me.
Jesus.
But Trim Reaper. What?
The Trim Reaper's here.
The Reaper Trim. So yeah, there's just so many things. So take a shot. I don't even know where my alcohol's at. I'll have to go find some. I think that's it. I mean, I watched that's it for I don't want to get too far. I could talk about Red Dead now all day because I played it and I haven't stopped playing it. So you guys figure it out. You guys go and just do funny stuff. Oh, that's another thing. I was talking to Wes earlier about. See, I said I wasn't going to talk about it anymore, but I lied. I lied about that too. Just the weird stuff that happens. It's just so fun. It's what makes the game. Second round with the KKK members, they were trying to put the cross up. I shot one, and the cross fell and crushed the other 2.
Good God.
Yeah, so it was like, it was like the weird things. And then what was the last one? And I'll be off of it. I was talking to Wes earlier about it too. I walked into a camp of the enemy that's trying to get you, and this dude's telling the story around the campfire to all the other enemies that's with him. So I let it play out. I'm just sitting there watching. And all of a sudden he stands up, because he's building up to his plot line to his buddies. And I just snipe him with a bow and arrow, take him down. And after I kill them all, Arthur goes, "Well, I ain't going to know how that story ends, are they?" So it's just funny that the game knew. I stopped him before he finished the story, even though I could have shot him at any time. And it knew to say that at the end once they were all dead. So it's an amazing game. It's definitely a 9 out of 10. They could do some more stuff. I could probably make it up to a 10 out of 10.
You've got a long way to go still, so.
Yeah, so maybe we'll wait and see. Maybe that's my tentative 9 out of 10. We watched Stronger. It's about the Boston Marathon bombing. Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a guy that I guess he was one of the guys that remembered one of the bombers and actually got him identified from his sketch artist from the hospital after he got both his legs blown off. So it was a pretty good movie, pretty heart-wrenching, pretty big struggle, made you go, man, I don't know if I could have done that, but it's a really good movie. I'm put it up there about 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I think that's it. If you guys get on my Xbox, you can see all the clippings of the weird stuff that I'm doing in Red Dead. I throwing knife to an owl off a telephone pole.
Stream it.
Ooh,
yeah.
Yes.
And if you decide you don't want to, you can just take a nap.
What is this nap everybody keeps referring to?
I don't know.
But that's all I got. So I'm going to throw it to Wes. We'll go out of order. I think I threw it to Zach last time.
I'm going to top it off. That's going to be overwhelming.
No.
Oh, man. All I have done is played Fallout 76, which we talked about. Good game. Not sure I'm sold on the concept of multiplayer with Fallout, but the bugs make it almost unplayable unless Pascal says that they fixed it. I haven't tried it myself.
You should.
Really good game, really fun. It's a lot like Fallout. Guess what? But people got jokes for days. There was one point where it was really unbalanced. I had a hard time finding weapons in the game, and then Pascal and I did this early mission at an airport, and we had to fight waves and waves of enemies. And I ended up after that so over encumbered because I had only looted like 100 different guns, and all of them were way better than what I had been using. It was just, I had way too much loot after that. It was kind of ridiculous, and no place to sell it, obviously. But the frame rate also dropped.
Why is that? Obviously,
because there's no NPCs in the game. It's all robots and vending machines.
So you can't sell the loot that you get?
You can if you find a vending robot.
Okay.
Or real players.
Yeah, they want you to trade with real people, I guess.
That sort of economy just doesn't work without an auction house or something like that to use.
Right. So the frame rate was my biggest complaint about the game, though. When there's a lot of stuff going on, it got so bad that I guarantee you, if they don't fix that shit, that game will flop. Completely flop. So
I agree.
But, he said that they might have fixed it with the patch that just came out. I haven't tried it, so I can't really speak to that. I know that after my one night of playing it for as long as I did, anyway, then I played lots and lots and lots of Red Dead Redemption, and I still haven't beat the game, and I've probably played, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 hours, 40 hours at least. Definitely one of my top 10 games of all time, and I still haven't beat it. Right up there with the first one. What's up, Idro? I mean, there's not a whole lot that I can say about it that hadn't already been said. There are a few bugs and stuff, but for the most part, doesn't really take away from the experience for me. I haven't found that many bugs. It's just weird behaviors, like we were talking with the NPCs, where sometimes they just flip out and report you for a crime when you haven't done anything, or weird control things. I wouldn't really call them bugs. The controls are really hard to get used to at first, so sometimes doing things, it doesn't always happen the way you plan it. So, but other than that, I haven't watched any movies. Did I? Actually, I watched Shrek, but I think I did that. Did I talk about Shrek the last time? I don't remember.
I think so, Donkey.
Donkey.
I remember talking about Donkey.
I remember talking about Donkey.
I think actually I watched Shrek after we talked about Donkey, but all right. So
is that the Swain? Is that the one with Johnny Depp?
Eyes wide open.
No, Sleepy Hollow. Isn't he played?
I think I've seen
or something like that.
Yeah, I think if it is, I've seen that.
I don't know, that one girl who has the giant eyeballs.
Emma Stone.
Different girl. Seyfried, Amanda.
Oh, I don't know her name.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't think I watched anything other than Shrek, and it was good. Not as good as I remember it, but anyway, so that's it for me. Zach, take it away.
Games I played. Did I get to talk about my Total War expansion at all? That came out in off week. So Total War expansion came out. It added the Vampire Coast faction, which are essentially undead pirates, and they're fucking awesome. So you get armies full of handgunners and things like that. So my one army, I added up the totals. I had 2,400 guns in it, and this is set in it's high fantasy, so medievally kind of stuff. So everybody has bows, and then I've got 2,400 fucking guns. And I got to just mow down an army that was filled with giant creatures before they even made it to me to touch me. And everybody just standing there. It was like that scene in The Last Samurai when they pull out the Gatling guns on the battlefield and they just mow everyone down.
I can't stop laughing because I know what he just saw because his face.
Oh man. Oh, that's good. Anyway,
He's
so
gonna give
there's
it a
that.
thumbs down.
They
Your
changed
image is
all
gonna
bunch
go
of other
negative.
stuff. If only I actually had an account, I just uploaded that just for us real quick. Anonymously posted. But yeah, it's a great expansion. I probably played 20 hours worth of that, I bet. Whole bunch of new characters, whole bunch of new monsters and stuff that are actually really cool, really fun. Plan on going back and playing a good bit more of that. I played a lot of Overwatch. There's a new hero that came out in Overwatch called Ashe, who I've been jokingly saying I've been getting my Red Dead fix from because she runs around with a Winchester rifle to shoot people with, which is just kind of slick. She's got this dynamite pack that she can toss out that explodes and sets people on fire. It's on a timer, but you can also shoot it out of the air or shoot it when it lands to blow it up over people's shields and stuff like that to deal damage with them, kill people behind cover when they run around a corner to run away from you. And she's got this cool little sawed-off double-barrel shotgun that she can pull out and shoot that sends her flying backwards, and anything she hits flying the opposite direction. She's really cool. I spent a ton of time playing that. Any other games? I played a little bit of Path of Exile. I'm always looking for a new game to fill the Diablo 3 loot fest thing for me, and Path of Exile with the hot garbage Diablo announcement. Maybe, I don't know. That game's just so intense. Like, you have to plan out what you're going to make your character so incredibly early on. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the talent tree for Path of Exile. But you should definitely Google that at some point and check out the Path of Exile talent tree and just be amazed at how incredibly gigantic that is. Pre-planning to know what you want your class to be.
Isn't the game a little older though? Like, I mean, they must have added a lot of stuff into it too, right? I mean, it's like 2 years old. 3 years?
Older than 2 or 3 years. I would say it's at least 3, probably 4. They also have a new expansion coming out, and from what it sounds like, they renamed the expansion to something about slaying immortals, as a little dig at the Diablo Immortal game.
Oh,
yeah, kind of funny. And when I was playing with my buddy while we're sitting there, the general chat for the game is just nothing but Diablo jokes, which
nice.
I absolutely love. So yeah, that was probably all I played. I did finally finish watching A Haunting on Hill House.
Oh.
Yeah, got all the way to the end.
What did you think about it?
What a great show. I loved it. I loved it from start to finish.
Swain probably still hasn't seen it, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just nugget and give it an 8. 8.5. 8.5 out of 10.
Who's your favorite character on it?
Oh, what a question.
I want to ask that to all of you all now. Yeah.
My favorite character. I kind of liked Theo.
He would be my second choice.
Should be your second? I think she was my favorite.
What's up,
I think I liked what she could do. I definitely think that's why.
I think what she could do was cool, and I just enjoyed her personality a bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes though it creeped me out, like what she could do, but
yeah,
like on the one scene where she goes to that house and goes into the basement and finds out what was going on.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just wanted to fucking.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Get you all sorts of fired up.
Yeah.
How about the Luke, the kid version of Luke, looking remarkably like that little kid that was in the Kid Vampire movie? You know what I'm talking about? Little Vampire.
Yeah. Yep, he did.
Look remarkably like the kid in that.
So much, yeah.
Pascal, who is your favorite character?
I think it's tough. I think actually I did like the father. Like I think he was
cool.
pretty.
Yeah.
I think he does a lot of things that a lot of people could relate to, like why he does things and stuff. And actually, I think Luke, was actually pretty cool, in a way, like how he was portrayed, and that knowing why he does the things he does later on kind of helps a little. But I think my favorite is what is it? I forgot his name, but the book writer. I liked him.
Steven?
Yeah.
Steve?
Because he's like the big brother kind of guy.
Oh man, like
I like
once that big reveal of the shit that Steve pulled with his wife, though, like
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Right, but still. But yeah, I think they're all great characters. But if I have to pick one favorite, then it would probably be the father.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm stuck between the father
like
and
the dad.
Theo. And I liked him too because of his character at the younger age.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was in on something that was going on in the house. Like, I thought there was a chance that he could have been killing people.
Really?
Like, yeah, because his whole demeanor is just so weird. Like they'll show him in bed, and then like a kid screams, and all of a sudden he's in like a shirt and sneakers, like he was out doing something and not in bed anymore before it happened. So
Yeah.
Okay.
it was really weird how they played his character as a young man. I always thought he was going to be behind something that was going on, causing all.
Okay.
Did you, whoever is going to finish that really quick before we go to the next round of characters, if you guys finished it, I would recommend watching all the ghosts you have missed watching in the episodes. Because it's quite
Yes.
interesting.
We had to
like
stop.
how many hidden ghosts there are, how many hiddens there are. It's crazy.
You had to
Yeah,
stop.
Belinda and I had to stop because I spent too much time rewinding. Oh, there was one.
Right.
And like an hour-long episode ended up taking like an hour and a half, an hour 45.
I just watched a video that showed there's like 41 different ghosts or something.
Yeah.
Because you guys said that, because I've heard you guys talking about it, I spent a significant portion of the episodes just looking at everything but what was going on in the foreground.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think I found 2. Did a real bad job.
So
Oh,
where
wow,
did we
yeah.
land with everybody's favorite character then? You got Theo,
Mine's
Theo.
the dad.
Theo the dad,
Close
and
second,
Pascal
Theo.
was dad as well.
Yep, Daddy.
I'll probably throw you guys for a loop. I'm gonna say Luke,
Okay.
the drug addict.
No, I can see
Understandable, yeah.
Luke's story arc was probably one of the best.
Yeah,
like
I
his
think-
was the best fleshed out, and he was the most real character.
And he was consistently not what you thought, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was totally what you thought, but, you know, things, you can see how their judgment of him over the years has shaped what they think of him now, even though, you know, he wasn't, like when you first see him and he's coming out of somebody's apartment and he said, "This isn't what it looks like." It really kind of wasn't, you know? It was, but it wasn't. And just from that point on, what's up, Samurai? Just at every turn, you think he's relapsing or whatever, and he's really not. And I just, for some reason, his story was the most powerful to me. And then I really like Theo, but I'm with you guys too on Dad. I really like the Dad character.
Dad was cool
because Dad did what he needed to do to try to keep his kids from being in pain, even though it meant staying the hell out of their lives, you know?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he still laid it all down for them and did everything he could to help them. So I thought it was great. Good show.
Good show. I'm a fan. I liked it.
Awesome.
Sequel question mark?
What?
No. Well, okay, so we did have
I don't
some
see how they
questions
could.
at the end of it. Just because, man, I just don't want to ruin it for anyone.
Yeah, don't.
I don't know how we could talk about it without.
Let's see if I can frame this as, will weird stuff what's stopping weird stuff from continuing to happen to them?
So,
I don't know. Because
a
lot of what you saw going on as younger was
try it again,
not
Blitz.
what you thought it was. You know what I mean? Like you thought it was part of the house, but it wasn't. I don't know if I could.
I see.
I
I
disagree
see
with
what
that.
you're saying, but there was a lot of things that were. Yeah. Okay. We'll have to continue this later. I don't think we can sit here and continue to skirt around
Yeah.
anything without giving anything away. So
I think what they could do, but then they would have different characters when they do like a prequel thingy.
yeah,
Like,
I could see.
20 years before or something. But kind of we've seen stuff like that before, you know. So
Yeah, I don't really think they could do a prequel. I just don't think that would work out given what we already know. I think it'd be boring. It'd just be like an origin story, but we already know those characters well enough. I don't think they need fleshed out anymore.
What's up, Beast Mode? Great one.
But yeah, so I watched that. I went and saw Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, or whatever it is.
Good to hear that was on your pass card.
I was going to say, did you use your pass card?
Nope, didn't
Nope.
use the pass card.
Well, fuck them.
Yeah, I need to cancel that thing. But that was actually a pretty good movie. I would give it a 6.5 nugs is what I would give it. Like, it wasn't amazing by any means. It wasn't some cinematography masterpiece or anything like that. But it was kind of badass. I'm excited to be in the Harry Potter universe and finally get to see adults doing magic, because it's not just little wispy things coming out of wands. Like, they're casting some motherfucking magic spells. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp does a really good job. He plays the bad guy, and he does a hell of a good job at playing the bad guy. Looks real creepy, has the whole persona down. And there's definitely some mystery going on. I don't know it personally, but I know a whole bunch of Harry Potter nerds who fill me in on this stuff. I just watch them because I think magic's cool. But
so did you catch the first one, the Fantastic Beasts, or did you just jump into this one?
Oh no, but I've watched all of them.
Okay.
I watched all of them a couple times. Fantastic Beasts, I think I only watched once, and I had to turn on the subtitles for it because the accents are thick. And I think it has a lot to do with not having a center channel to play through. I don't know. Maybe my ears are broken.
Where's the footsteps come from?
Exactly. That's exactly footsteps. What footsteps? You gotta nugget be my ears. But
Leave me, Master Robin.
no, it was really cool. The special effects were cool. It's gonna be a 5-part series, and it's building up to some giant fight between kick-ass wizards at the end. I'm kind of pumped to see it through. Definitely go see it if you're into Harry Potter stuff. If you've seen them, you might as well. I think that might be it, though. I don't think I really have anything else on my plate. I touched The Witcher a little bit more, but not a whole lot more. Just Overwatch grabbed me and sucked me in.
It's usually what happens when you touch things.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't. What was your final impressions of the Vampire Coast thing?
Oh, if you enjoy Total War, it is a must-buy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like, it's just another race, and it's actually a really cool race, and they've done a lot of interesting things with it. They've added some interesting mechanics where you don't necessarily have to conquer cities to do well. You can establish pirate coves there, which are essentially just like smugglers' dens in cities, and siphon off their income. Like 50% of their incomes. You can go to a city and just get a lot of shit. And from the sounds of it, I haven't played against the pirates very much yet. They can't get rid of the pirate cove. So it's just there siphoning off half their income forever, unless someone else comes along and burns the city to the ground.
Interesting.
Yeah. A lot of interesting, cool, legendary lords, the people who you start with. The one guy Luther Harkon. His mechanic, he has a split personalities. Some artifact from the lizard men that he stole broke his mind into different portions, and his whole quest is to reunite his mind. But it goes through and will randomly change you to Luther the Mad or Luther the Intelligent, and he gains different abilities in battle based on which persona he currently is, which is kind of cool. You can plan battles around that, and battles change because you have access to different spells. Or he's Luther the Coward, so he's really bad if he gets up close and fighting and he runs away quick, which is bad for your army. The one dude gets to start in the middle of the ocean in this cool whirlpool that any other enemies that come into their armies get. What's the active word for attrition? Attrited? Is that a word? I'm sure there's a word.
Clue. I failed English 3 years in a row.
Don't ask me.
You sure? Not a second language? But he's cool. There's a ghost lady that starts off with a whole bunch of cool stuff and has cool spells. And the fourth legendary lord is just a human, but it looks like she has 2 peg legs, but they're made from like sawfish bills that she runs around on, which is kind of cool. I don't know. And then that game came out with that expansion came out with a huge patch that changed a whole bunch of other stuff in the game. Good amount of balance, but
balance is always good in the Force.
I don't know. It's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to look into that.
How much is the expansion?
I believe this one was $20 for that expansion.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. I guess when you look at all the DLC that's out for it, you might be able to consider it's a little expensive. Because
is it like a complete package you can buy, like with everything but that expansion?
There is not. You can buy the game and then you buy all the expansions themselves. So I've spent 20, another 8, another 20 on another $3 on Total Warhammer 2. But then if you count all the money I've spent on the first one, including buying the game, that's probably another $100 on that one too, maybe a little bit more. So total package, we're talking $200.
So, but it entertains you a long time.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
in between the 2 games, Total War Warhammer 2, I have 516 hours in, and then the first one I probably have another 500 or 600 hours in.
Wow.
Yeah. See, that's crazy.
Yeah, like you just sit there and you can play it forever, and every game's a little bit different because things don't always go the same.
We had like a similar discussion with Wes about like the expansion stuff. I think he told me yesterday there's this game iRacing that apparently is super big, and they're all like the tracks they sell. They're like kind of expensive, like $15 for one track. But then I read into it too after he mentioned it. They're all like laser scanned and stuff, so they're like really like on the dot, 1-to-1 the tracks. So
that's cool.
if
if there's a bump, there's a bump.
Yeah, so I think. I think that's kind of like, if you play a game for a long time and there's not going to be like iRacing 2 tomorrow, then I think it's totally valid to, continue on the game to keep it active and charge this money.
That's the cool thing with the Total War games is that it's planned out to be a trilogy, and owning all 3 games will give you a larger map to play on, and you get all the races from all the games.
Oh, that's pretty cool,
because I own Total War 1 as well as Total War 2, I basically get 4 whole continents where each game individually only has 2 continents, but it can tie it all together into one big map.
That's awesome.
Which I think is really cool.
Yep.
And then, but it also works because each game can be its own standalone game as well. You can just play the Total War 2 map, and they have a special campaign just for that. Or you can go back and play Total War 1 and just play the campaign map for that, or play them both together. Which
that is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that game. I
only heard good things about it, man.
Well, if you've only heard from me, I might be biased.
No, you're not the first one who plays that. So I have a couple of people that actually play that actively, and everybody says the same thing as you do. So
Yeah, it's just if you like Civilization but want more gameplay out of it, you play Total War.
Now I have to pick it up, I guess. Damn it.
And if you like high fantasy, then you have the Total War Warhammer series are where it's at, because you get all the magic, you get to level up lords. Your lords are bad. Like a lord in Total War Warhammer is just like when you play one of the dudes in Dynasty Warriors. He's just out there just slaying people. All these normal dudes can't nearly stand up against his might, and you're basically a god smashing through things. I don't know. Watch some gameplay. It's so cool.
Yeah, maybe you should stream it. I'll watch it.
I'll try. I mean, I don't know if my computer can handle it, but I'll try. The game's a hog. Okay.
As a matter of fact, since we're talking about it, I know somebody else. That's the second stream recommendation we've gotten tonight. Nugget's got a stream. Blue Spider's got a stream. I was playing games the other day, and I saw somebody else had gone live streaming.
Oh,
who was that?
Was that P24 Salad Fingers?
What? No one told me.
So,
didn't even know I could follow you.
It was on the Mixer, I believe, right?
Yeah, BF5 and Fallout did that, but I wanted to test it because I don't know if you guys saw it in WhatsApp or on Twitter, but I had an epic kill streak on Battlefield, and finally I get the Battlefield moments again where I just slay people and it looks epic as hell. And that kind of, I thought about, you know what, I should give it a try and start streaming. But I need to ensure that my internet is stable enough, so that's why I streamed for an hour, and I didn't see any hiccups, so I might go for it.
That's awesome.
So, and if you haven't watched that kill, the 30-second video, you should watch it right now or after the stream.
I will. I guess I missed it.
I can explain it for people who are listening.
Do it.
So, I wasn't around with just random people, but I was a squad leader, which enables me. If you get a certain amount of points, you do well as a squad. As it gets all put together, and you can call in reinforcements. I had 45,000 points as a total squad, and it allowed me to have one missile strike or bomb strike. It's either a V1, I think, or V2 rocket on the Axis side, or Allies, it's a JB2 bomb. Well, I was an ally, so I had the JB2 bomb, launched it on objective they were capturing, and we had to defend. It killed, I think, 6 or 7 people, and the video starts right when the missile hit. You see all my kills pop up. I rush into a building, kill a dude in the building, kill a dude coming to the building, take out a tank, and kill another dude until I get killed, finally. So I easily took like 10, 11 people out that were trying to attack that, and we actually defended that objective because of that.
Hell yeah. I have a Battlefield question for you. You talking about it just brought it up to me. I've been watching Sacriel play a bit of it, just getting a little bit of a feel for it. Have you done much airplane action? Have you done much?
I did, and I was lucky enough to have inexperienced pilots against it, and there are, I think, 2 types, I guess, of playstyles. There's the bomber runs, which is against infantry, or the strafing runs with a fighter plane, which is the one-man plane, like a Spitfire, for example. If they're more effective, they're not like the infantry is not marshmallow anymore, but obviously the bomber will kill more people. But it actually is super fun. Like, I obviously at some point there were all those ace pilots coming in, and I had no chance because I'm just not that skilled enough. But in Battlefield 1, I sucked at it. In Battlefield 4, I did. In Battlefield 3, I was really good at it, and I feel like that I can be really good at the planes here again.
How do you feel about the balance differences between the German and the British planes?
Well, what most people don't consider is that the balance issues are not really as heavy as back in the day, the F-35 towards the other ones. And like in Battlefield 4, I think the F-35 was the main thing to go. But they have specializations, meaning after a certain amount, like it's kind of like a gun. Each plane has their own strength. But they're already working on, I think, which was the Spitfire, I think, was stronger than the other one, or vice versa. But it honestly just depends on how you play. Honestly,
I guess there were some things that just noticing from his stream and watching and listening to him talk about it. So the British bomber, when you're flying level in the air, you can't see the targeting reticle for the bombs you're going to drop. You actually have to go down into a dive to see the reticle.
Isn't there a
Yeah.
camera
with the
angle you
German
can
bomber.
change?
that I
With
don't
the
know if they're
German
going to
bomber
change it.
flying level, you have a full view of the ground, including your bombing reticle. In addition to that, the German bomber has 12 bombs it can drop, and the Allied bomber has 6 bombs that it can drop.
Yeah, who
they-
says this game isn't realistic? They're sacrificing
They're sacrificing game
competitive-
balance and
yeah,
fun
for realism.
for realism in this one specific instance, and
But you see, that's something you can fix eventually. But for me personally, I cannot give you a lot of input because I only use planes as a Spitfire, not like the bomber or something.
Okay,
What I know
was
they
just curious.
So I mean, it would probably be fixed.
fix
A lot
would
of people
be-
complain.
Right, just widen that field of view on
Yeah.
the Allied bomber and give it 6 more bombs, because let's be honest, I guess it's just everything. Like, it's slower than the German bomber. It
But
only
there are
has
2
one
bombers.
tail gunner compared to the 2 tail gunners for the German bomber. Like, it just sounded like you're getting up there in the Allied bomber and you might as well go fuck yourself.
The only thing I know though is that there's, I don't know if that's the case, but maybe I got it wrong in the beginning. What if the attack plane, the one-person plane, the Allies is better than the German one? So that was their balance. Make the bomber more powerful for Germans, and then but easier to take down, and because the attack plane from the Allies is stronger.
Because the attack plane's better?
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, that's interesting.
I think that's what it was. But you know what? Like I said, I think with any game, if a lot of people complain, they have to fix it eventually. So
Yeah, we'll see. It just seemed like a big glaring, like, man, that doesn't. I'm not much of a flyer, but I'm not.
they had that with Battlefield 3 too. I think the Abrams was better than the T95 or vice versa, or T85, whatever the thing was.
It definitely was. And I mean, it was the same for both the armors, though, in that, because the
Yeah.
Bradley was better than that BMP, except
Yeah.
the BMP had a way better profile.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know, but I do tanks and infantry, so I maybe have to get more in the plane to just kind of try it out and see how annoying it can be. But yeah,
I do like the way that they decided to deal with the vehicle health for tanks in this one, where unless you go
Yep.
to a repair bay or you have an engineer repair you, you're stuck at specific levels after you take so
Yep.
much damage. That's cool. I like that. That
it's
was
also with your health like that. Like once
Yeah.
you are below a critical level, it stays like I think it goes only to 65 or 55 is the highest one. So you have to get a medic or go to a health crate.
that's cool. I like that.
The whole like incentive of all that, even with the attrition with limited ammo, is it focuses more on team play and actually killing somebody and going to them to pick up the ammo instead of being like camping in a corner. And because if you camp and nobody helps you, you run out of ammo pretty quick.
How do you
So-
feel about the flashlight scopes again?
The lint glare,
Yeah.
that I can live with because I'm smarter than them, because I don't need to be a noob with 8x scope camping on a hill, because I use a 3x scope that doesn't have a lens glare and
Okay.
snipe them. So I think it's just the way, because you have no spotting anymore. You don't have 3D spotting. The Doritos over the players, they're gone unless you have like
Doritos.
that's what they call it.
They are.
Doritos. They're gone, so you cannot just spam the button. It shows you like, hey, that might be something, but there's not as for sure. So
Mhm.
I think that was their way of balancing it, because otherwise people would not stand out, and people would just camp.
Sleepy
People are getting
Zach?
tired.
I am. I even took a nap today in preparation.
Dude, I'm still sleepy. This is what happens when you get old.
I'm super hyper.
You're manic. Old body laughs. So,
Silence.
Yeah.
did we
I
we finish I guess we did finish.
Do we have some weird news?
We have gaming news at all?
Well, I mean, I don't want to talk about BF5 so much. I had one article that I thought was cool because people don't like Battlefield that much or something. The Tides of War thing that starts in December. I think it's pretty cool, but I mean, if you guys are interested in it, I'll go for it.
Yeah, cover it quick. What's the Tides of War?
Tides of War, like usually Battlefield had a premium pass. Well, that's gone now. You know paid access for stuff. Tides of War is basically each 1 or 2 months. It's kind of like a season, I guess you can think about it, but you don't have to buy like a season pass or something. And it includes new vehicles, new guns that you unlock. You cannot buy them with real money, and new customizations. And each customization, no, you won't. That's a given. I guarantee you, they won't have gun for pay. The thing is, Tides of War is like their way of getting a little bit more time, but also instead of having like one map pack or expansion, they have like a whole journey. Like each 2 months is like a different journey until the end of the war, basically. So let's say first season kind of is like it's the first area with like Belgium and stuff, and France and stuff, and then it goes all the way into D-Day, like all the way to the final days kind of thing.
So say one of these things lasts 2 months, 8 weeks, just for instance. The thing, and you can unlock new weapons and vehicles and stuff like that, but you have to actually unlock them.
You still have time afterwards.
Okay, like that's what I was going to say. Are you going to lose all that stuff if you take 2 months off and you don't do that, or is that
no? There might be some timed events for like dog tags or a special emblem or something.
So then, what's the catch? There's always
no
a catch. There's always a catch.
No, the catch is that the only thing I can do, so far I've not seen any monetization. I see potential for monetization, and that is the scrap system, where if you complete a game and you do challenges, that you get scraps to customize your guns and your character with different clothing, like chrome finish or like different patterns of your guns. That's the only thing I can see where they could put money in, with like, hey, if you can buy 20,000 scraps to get clothing, but guns you only unlock with gameplay. And it's always been like that in Battlefield and will never change.
No, they had those kit shortcuts.
That's something completely different.
Yeah, that wasn't new guns. That was just attachments.
Yeah, like no, the kit shortcut. What it was is that all the standard guns that you rank through, like let's say you have MP40 or something, and it's like a rank when you're assault class rank 3 or 4. If with a shortcut kit that comes usually at the end of a circle of Battlefield, you pay to already have it unlocked. Technically, you can use it. It's not unlocked, but you can use it. Basically, you can already use it, but it doesn't affect DLC guns. Like basically, like everything that comes with it, it doesn't include all the new guns they add.
It's still a little pay to win.
No, because even in Battlefield 4, 3, and 2, and all the other Battlefields, if they had that in there, in Battlefield 3 and 4, the first guns were usually much more well-rounded, and you could destroy people more than the other following guns. The AEK, one of the first guns, best gun in the game. M16A3, best gun in the game. BF4.
The 18 trench gun.
I have guns, Greg. Can you milk me?
But there are no, and that's another thing. There are no OP guns like in Battlefield 1, and I love it. There's no.
I'll find them.
No, there's no. I tried hard. I tried. The thing is, there's certain guns now for each situation that you have. Like an LMG is very good for long range. Like it has this an MG42, 0 hip fire. Like it's so inaccurate. As soon as you bipod it, which works now, thankfully, it shreds people because it's so accurate. But it will lose in a close quarter combat and medium range even. So there's always drawbacks to each gun and for each situation. Like if people play Battlefield, it's a mix between Battlefield 3 and 4. It's much more, the skill ceiling is so much higher. Like if you know how to which gun you use in which situation, because there's maps that are a little more open, maps that are urban, you will dominate. But I mean, that's about it. Like, there's a lot more focus on the gunplay and gameplay, and Battlefield 1 feels a lot more casual. I have 20 hours in. I have to find the BF1 Hellriegel MP18 trench gun, whatever. I haven't seen any of those.
Gotcha.
But I saw one gun that they nerfed to ground because it probably was the MP18. In the beta, there was a gun, the STG-44 for an assault, and that was my favorite gun. It's fucking useless right now. Like, there's no, for me, like, the beginner assault rifle is still one of the best, and there's like a semi-auto that is pretty cool. It kills with like 5 shots or something, but you can have a fast fire rate with it if you just tap it quick. But other than that, like, me stupid, the STG-44 is a rank 14 unlock, so pretty late in that progression thing, and I grinded it. I was like, I want that gun. I bought like a chrome finish, a chrome reflex sight, everything chrome. It looked epic as hell with like wood and like a chrome star and stuff. And then I used that gun, and I'm like, what the hell did they do to my gun? So I used all my scraps for that, but I have 5,000 again. So it's, but yeah, it's, I think that was it. I think that was the MP18, but they learned because people complained after the beta. Maybe they complained too much because I feel now it's useless, but like, it's not even good at medium ranges anymore in my eyes. So, but yeah, I think overall the game is good, and I can't wait, what it brings in the future. I mean, it might be disappointing. The Battle Royale might be disappointing in the future, but who knows? I'll just keep on playing until I can't play it anymore.
I mean,
but
at least
I'm addicted to it.
You think it's a full package without the Battle Royale, so whether it's good or not, it's not going to matter.
Definitely. I mean, any game, like, if you think about it, like, I cannot stop playing it, and I already have 20 hours in it since the EA Access basically the 10 hours. So, I mean...
20 hours?
I don't know. Yeah.
20 EA Access hours and
20
hours.
Like, well, if I think about that, then it would be at 25 because I only used 5 hours of the other Access account. So 25 hours since, 1.5 weeks ago. So pretty good for a shooter. So I love it. The single player is surprisingly pretty good too. Like, I like it, but it's difficult. Like, I usually play on veteran or the highest difficulty setting to unlock all the achievements, but man, it ain't no joke. There's like everything. You can pick up planes, you can do tanks, and you have like 3 objectives that you can do on a big map, and I'm like, damn. So pretty cool.
Gotcha. Anybody else got any news?
I have a little bit of Overwatch news. It is free to play week starting tomorrow from the 20th to the 26th. You can play Overwatch for free
on all platforms.
I believe it is on all platforms. I know for a fact it's PC. If anyone wants to come play with me and doesn't already own it.
You see, I would, but I suck at it.
So.
Still fun.
It's still fun.
He lets me play with him, so there you go.
Right. And I will give you all the tips you could possibly want if you want them. If not, and you just want to play, then go for it. I don't really care. I just love playing the game with people. And then I'll heal you and turn you into a golden god. And then it's also half off for the standard edition. Which is a pretty good deal.
Overwatch. I always forget about it.
You have it on PC?
Yeah, my kid. I got it for my kid because he was fascinated with it for a while. He loves it.
Yeah, it's just a good game. I like to sum Overwatch up as just, it's like World of Warcraft PvP without all the bullshit you have to do to get there.
What's weird is I was always amazed either at maybe my kid's just really good at first-person shooters on the PC, or the scaling,
young, nimbly fingers
in which they like the matchmaking competitively, because he was always able to do really, really well, and he'd never really played a first-person shooter before.
The cool thing about Overwatch is they have plenty of characters in the game that you don't have to aim well to do well with.
In the few games that I played myself, I I may not have helped the team, but my kill death, I was absolutely 26-2.
That's your job. The different characters fall into different classes, where if you're a tank, you can do a bunch of damage, but your job's there just to soak up a bunch of damage, and if you die, well, hopefully your team killed enough people while they were trying to kill you, is the kind of thing. That's what I like about the game, is there's more strategy than just,
Right.
get some
Kind of like a
run into
MOBA
their
thing,
face.
you know?
It's playing a MOBA in first person. So a lot of doing well in that game comes with understanding your role more than it does with playing the
I know
game.
nothing
well.
about the roles in that game.
Hey man, I am an encyclopedia of information.
Use me, turn my pages.
Use me.
Ooh.
I will say I ended up playing with some incredibly high-leveled people over the weekend. So I have probably 500 hours in the game at this point. I played with a dude. This was the one that had his profile on public. He had 3,700 hours in the game. He
Holy
had
moly.
700 hours on a character that came out less than a year ago. He had more
All
hours
right.
on one character than I
Damn you,
have
shut
playing
up,
the
Bob.
entire game.
That's great.
It's insane. I couldn't believe it. And the cool thing, like, I mean, cool, nerdy, whatever you want to call it, your character portrait changes based on what level you are. You get stars, and then it upgrades and it changes to a different color. And then you get 5 stars, and it upgrades and changes to a different color. So you can just instantly spot the people who clearly don't work. But I don't know. Good times.
I'd
Lots
turn
of big
around, kill
changes
people,
coming
and
with
it's
the
really
game.
colorful. So I think it's a fun game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a gorgeous game to look at. Blizzard does that well.
And it plays really well. Like doesn't tax your computer really.
No, it's so smooth. And you can play it at a lower setting and it still looks good, which is awesome. Yeah,
Well, I mean, I
that's,
wouldn't know. I'm just ultra, you know.
Yeah, that's my news. Free Overwatch. Play it if you haven't, because it might be your thing.
Well, I got news.
Don't give up on it.
I got news before Nugget does his wacky wild news and whatever news he may have before that. We've all talked about it between the four of us, and I think we all have different ideas or whatever thoughts on whether it's okay for them or not. But Sony has announced, and I'd like to hear what chat's got to think about this, that they are not going to be attending E3 this year. I know, Pascal, you said E3 is not what it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I think they had all their good games out and everybody knows about it. And I think the next thing will lead up to the new console and they probably want to do their own thing like EA Play. I mean, what do you want to see? Like, I mean, do you want to see all the trailers? They can do their own show like Nintendo does, like an online show or something, or EA Play. I mean, everything new will not be on PS4. So why would they do that? That's what I'm saying. Like,
damn.
I know
He's a fucking single player machine.
No,
Fuck all this
They
E3.
pretty much ran E3 last year, though.
I got Nintendo 4 I'm watching
They
online later
ran
on.
E3, and they had all this like weird, artsy fartsy, terrible coverage, but they pretty much ran the show last year. And
but,
so isn't that
E3.
the flute thing and the samurai people and the flower gardens with the goldfish and all that shit. But my thing is, like, they do all that one year, and then the next year, like, they're like, you know what, fuck you guys, we're not going to give you any updates about all these games that we just talked about, and we're out.
They will, but why do they have to do it in 1 hour? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they had the PlayStation event all the time, and that was a huge success for them. Like, so many people. And the thing is, right now, I mean, they can still bring up the news and stuff, you know, but like I said, what if they don't have anything? I mean, E3, think about it, man. E3, when was it, like, what was standing out this E3 where it's like, God damn, this is awesome? It wasn't. Like, for me, there was nothing that I was like,
Actually, I think I complained. Awesome. I think I complained about more of the things I watched at E3 than was amazed by. So.
Yeah, so if we feel that way, so how does the corporation then feel? Because if we already feel like that, they do all the analytics and stuff. I don't know. I think
E3's gotten too big for its britches.
I think E3.
I think E3's been dying for years.
It's become a spectacle, and it's not what it used to. It's not what it was intended to be anymore.
I definitely know. I feel like 3 years ago, I was super excited it came out, and then like the next year, I was like, I think I was on vacation, and I actually like planned some time to come back from the beach just to watch like a couple of the ones I wanted to. And this year, I was like, meh. Like, I'm just gonna if I can catch it, I'll catch it. So
I just think it's almost the right way to go. Like, Blizzard doesn't do anything at E3. They hold their own BlizzCon conference. So why wouldn't the major players not just go hold their own conference?
Yeah, and you're on your own turf, so you know that people will eat it up anyway. So
you don't have to.
It's not like you have to prove it.
Time. Like people aren't going to see other things when they could come see yours because it's all yours.
Yeah.
And you know, cool things. You can do cool things like Blizzard with their digital tickets. You buy their digital tickets to watch BlizzCon, which I mean, I don't know if I'm super into that or whatever, but they give you in-game rewards for it. So like with this one, you bought BlizzCon tickets, you got cool Overwatch skins, and you got cool stuff for Diablo 3 and StarCraft and Hearthstone just for buying the ticket. So there's perks to buying the tickets. So Sony could do that for some of their first party games.
I guess it's just weird because E3 has been a staple for so long. And you're right, it has been kind of going downhill lately, and I think it's the end of the line. Like in a couple of years, E3 may not even exist anymore. And it may, there may not be a hole there either. There's so many damn Penny Arcade Expos and DDCs and CD this and a lot of game shows. It
kind of made sense in the past for all the major gaming companies to come together and do one major presentation for it all, just because gaming wasn't, I mean, it's been popular for a long time, but it's not anywhere nearly as big as it is now.
Right.
And it wasn't nearly as accessible.
It needed that showcase.
Get all that information. Because now you have, everybody streams their stuff on Twitch or streams it on their own things. Before it was like, E3 coverage, well, you better have the G4 TV. And then everybody just went and you watched G4 TV for a week. That was the last time that I think I really ever spent watching E3 was when it was aired on G4, and it's like, oh hell yeah, every day after work, well yeah, I'm going to sit down and watch E3 coverage for 4 hours.
The rampant expansion of high-speed internet is partly to blame for that? Because you can get access to all of this stuff even from the show floor because of that,
Absolutely. I think it's a good path to go down.
And they could do their own show, so
yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's me. Nugget, what you got?
I don't really have anything else, but before I jump into the weird and wacky news, I will tell you guys a personal story that happened to me this week that I know Wes was interested in me telling because it was hilarious. So
I know what you're talking about now.
And for those who don't know what I do at work, I watch around. I catch bad people doing bad things at work.
Punks.
Yeah, so I was walking around and I was back in the toy section and I walked by this aisle and there's like maybe 3, maybe 4. I think it was 3, but the juveniles. And as I walk by, they're in the aisle by themselves and they laugh and snicker and say something. And I'm like, oh man, they're talking about me. Damn it. I hate being fat. It's always the fat guy that gets made fun of. So I keep walking on by, not thinking anything about it. And then I hear them come out and they're giggling and they're giggling. They're following behind me by about 5 feet. And he mirror on the ground. So I hear one of them going, Dad, 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 and he's just screaming. And I'm like looking forward, and I'm like, there's no one ahead of me, and there's no one else in these aisles that I've passed. So is he trying to get me to answer to Dad? And sure enough, they get closer to me and closer to me. The 2 stay back and they're laughing. The one gets right up next to me. I mean, like literally 6 inches away from me. We're almost shoulder to shoulder. And I'm looking ahead, looking out of my peripheral at him. He's looking straight into my ear hole. And he's going, Dad, Dad, Dad. So I just stopped dead in my tracks. And I look up in the air. And then I look over at him and I go, oh, I'm sorry. I'm deaf. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm deaf. And the kid's face went flat. All the color out of his face dropped. He did the Macaulay Culkin. He's like, I'm so sorry, sir. And he was so concerned about it. And his friends are like, they're not saying anything. And I just look at him. We're nose to nose. And I go, ha, got him. And he was like, what? And the friends just died laughing.
That's
and he
funny.
was like, that's right, because if you were deaf, you couldn't hear me. And so they just walk off laughing. His friends are making fun of him. So I just I was like, "Ha, I got one. Pull one over on you, little young
Right. You thought you got
whippersnapper."
me, but I got you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, remember that day when I was like 18 and you told me my car keys were in my door lock and I looked out of my driving car and they really weren't there? Fuck you guys. I got you. So that was my personal
That's
funny
awesome.
story. Let's see, Swain said another supervisor at work today was being... Oh boy. I'm glad I stopped reading that.
Yeah.
So on to the weird and wacky news. This comes from Zach this week, told me about this story because I did no research this week.
Did you find it?
Yes, I found it. So, man arrested for threatening to drop bombs at a restaurant. So, in New Orleans, a man was arrested at Willie's Chicken Shack after allegedly claiming he was going to blow up the restaurant. So, the problem is the guy claims... Oh, I want to jump... Do they talk about... I don't want to jump right into the punchline. So, police told police Posey made a violent threat against the place, allegedly saying, "You all about to close right now because I'm going to drop a bomb and blow this place up." The cops tracked down Posey, and he claimed that it was a giant misunderstanding. I guess pun intended. Giant misunderstanding. Explaining that he told staffers he was going to blow up the bathroom, meaning he was going to take a poop and poop his brains out.
Arrested for saying he was going to blow it up.
Yeah, he's going to blow it up. So cops didn't buy it. They didn't buy what Posey was selling and arrested him. He's now facing 2 counts of communicating false information and of planned arson. He's due back in court. Let's see, later this month.
That you read the article and the statements that they took from the 2 people aren't even the same. Like the manager lady said he was gonna go get a bomb and bring it back and blow the place up. The other person said that he had a bomb and he planted it underneath one of the tables already or some shit like that. Like the stories don't even remotely line up. Sounds like it's just New Orleans and they're gonna be racist against this dude.
I mean,
joke.
I can totally relate to this story. I mean, I didn't get arrested, but white privilege, I guess. I dropped a bomb at a Waffle House once.
I've said that before. Like, hey, dudes, I'm gonna go drop a bomb off. You know what I mean?
But like, I literally, well, not a literal bomb, but I wasn't eating there. I gotta tell this story now. I have my wife and I just refer to it as a Waffle House poop. If you've got, well, here, look, we were at Cheddar's, and anytime I ever eat at Cheddar's, I don't eat at Cheddar's anymore because I get painful, stomach wrenching poop pains. And I lived
bubble guts.
about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from a Cheddar's many years ago. And my wife and I, before we were married, were a long time ago, we were eating at Cheddar's. And on the way home, I got the bubble guts so bad that I couldn't take it anymore. And I'm telling you, I lived 2 miles. Junior wasn't there. Junior was cooking. Like, I live like 2 miles away. So for me to get hit with it that hard and fast, and it was bad. So bad that I was in pain in my car thinking I was about to die at a red light. And finally when the gas released, finally when the light turned, I went straight to the shopping center and found, oh look, there's a Waffle House. I'm going to go in here and take a shit. So my wife is laughing. I'm embarrassed as hell because we were especially still in the, well, at that stage, I wasn't huffing farts out of jars or anything. So
different time of your life.
Yeah, it was a different time in our life. Poop wasn't a thing then. And so I run into Waffle House. I'm like, I'll be right back. And I walk in there, and of course, all the old people turn around. And I'm like, hi. And the ladies look at me, and I'm just walking like I know what I'm doing. They're probably expecting me to sit down at some point, and I don't. I go straight to the back. As I go to the back, there's this kid coming out of the bathroom with a fucking mop and bucket. He had just, like, the floor back there was soaking wet. He had just cleaned everything.
Oh my God.
I went in there and I dropped my pants. And when the fallout's over and the doors open and you go out into the wasteland, no, I went in there and I took the most massive, wet, runny shit, explosive. It was where I got the term, like when we go to the bathroom and you have a blowout, was where I got the term like a bomb in a money bag. It's like a paint bomb in a money bag. It just went all over the side of the toilet, all over the back of the toilet. And it's...
What the hell are you doing?
Cheddars, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, what the fuck? Like, are you bending over, touching your toes? Like,
it was like as soon as I laid down as soon as I sat down, man, it was blowing
it was like
out.
a dolphin jumping over a rainbow.
It was bad. And so, I sprayed mud because of faucet ass. That's what he said. So, yeah, I blew up all over this freshly minted and clean bathroom. And it was the cleanest bathroom I'd ever been in a Waffle House. And it smelled so terrible. And I got up and I walked out of there and I felt so much better. And I just kind of waved to him, said bye, because it was...
You should have at least ordered a hash brown loaded to go.
I thought about it, but yeah.
I'm paying $5 for what I just did to you.
It was so bad. And of course, who do I pass along the way? The kid with his mop and bucket who's now mopping in the dining room, and I'm just like...
Should have stuck $1 in the machine that plays music and played the Waffle House theme song and just walked out.
I got a story about that too. Same Waffle House, as it were. This is the last time I had been there after that.
Boots stuck in mud.
But the time before that, this particular Waffle House had a lot of old people eating at it. And they had a particularly updated jukebox. And so at the time, the Outkast song Hey Ya was really popular. And I played it, and the old people, I could hear them talking about what this nonsense was on the jukebox and how it wasn't real music and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, you know what? So as we were paying, I took all my change and I went over there and I put $2 in the jukebox. Played Hey Ya 6 more times, and then we played it like 6 more times, and we took off. So there you go. What's up, Bama girl? Oh man, yeah, that's my Waffle House stories.
We have one similar, not that, but jukebox story. We went into the Waffle House, and we were maybe a little, as I like to call it when I am, inebriated, and me and my buddy were eating, and somebody played a Hank Williams Jr. song, and my buddy's like way more gone than I am, and he goes, "Hell yeah, break a plate for Hank," and he throws his plate on the ground and shatters it, and I'm like, oh my God, we just got kicked out, and no shit, to this day, I'm not lying, about 7 more people in the restaurant shattered their plates on the floor.
That's awesome.
I was like, it was the beginning of Dicks Out for Harambe, I believe. Break a plate to Hank, and they just shattered them all over the floor.
Is that a thing?
What?
Breaking a plate for Hank? Like,
I don't know. I was drunk. I never heard it again. But he also used to give him a hard time because if you all have ever been in a Waffle House, they're all about the same. And they got that old brown sign above the cash register that says, pay, check here.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to get the little young cashiers and he'd be like, I'm here to get my paycheck. And they're like, what? And he'd be like, it says paycheck here. And they're like, do you work here? And he'd just mess with it the whole time. He's like, well, it says paycheck here. So that was my Waffle House experience. But that's all I got, man. Red Dead.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
Red Dead's calling.
Y'all have stuff to do. Zach's got to sleep. Pascal's got to play BFV. Nuggets got to play
That's
Red
right.
Dead. I got to stream and then go to sleep.
I'm that loser. Are you sure?
No, like on stream.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sign off for now. And guys, see you next week.
Hey, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I know I'll
Happy
probably
Thanksgiving
to
to
who's
everyone.
before, but to everybody else in the chat, man.
And
I
then
hope
you guys
have a
who
great
work
holiday.
retail, I'm sorry for what's to come.
Eat lots
Yep.
of gravy.
I got 2 days of 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. shifts.
Luckily, I go in
lucky.
at,
Yeah.
I
You're
go in
lucky.
at 1 on Thanksgiving, and I'm in at 8 in the morning on Black Friday.
Gotta go in Thursday at 4:30 to midnight or a little after. Then day after Thanksgiving, I gotta do the 12 hours, Pascal?
Yep, 12 to 12.
12 hours the next 2 days, and then 10
Yep.
on Sunday. Fun times.
Yay,
Great
retail.
holiday weekend, baby.
Thank you for everybody who wants to shop. I hate you all.
All right, guys. We'll see you all later. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. And
Yeah.
thanks for being here. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.
Loaded House Swain.